Hello and welcome. Today we are in County Durham where we are exploring the aspirations and transitions of young people with disabilities. We'll be following them through school, college, training and securing employment. We'll also be watching them achieve their dreams as they progress further in life. With support from the Extreme Group in County Durham, this short film looks at some real-life experiences and a few case studies. We have spoken to some young people who are currently embarking on college careers to get the qualifications they need to progress further. Alongside that, we have also spoken to some adults who have experienced the whole process of the transition.
I went to Dean House first, and then moved to Glendine.
Well, I was at St Leonard's School here in Durham.
School was difficult because it was mainstream and I was the only wheelchair user there.
Sometimes I got a bit lonely because everyone would do their own thing and leave me out.
Glendine was very good because I didn't get bullied and they helped us.
I did enjoy it there because I had a good special needs department there.
Glendine I got so much support and that, and they said they're going to miss us. And
I found that in from year 9 upwards, they got used to me, and so they were able to adapt, say, in PA lessons. They were able to adapt at dinner time. They let me have 5 minutes early to go and get me dinner.
Well, from the special needs department I did have, I would say, a buddy to go around school with.
I got most of the help and support at Dean House Primary School with Miss Baker. She used to come to all my doctor's appointments and stuff like that.
Right.
Did you get help to pick which college you were going to and what you were going to do?
Not really.
I didn't get very much help.
When I was at school, the connections didn't give me really any advice at all.
I didn't really have much choice and support about what there was available to do after the further education unit. So college was really the only kind of option.
It didn't help us choose what I wanted to do at college because they said I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
They said you couldn't, so they didn't look at ways to make that happen for you?
No.
I have known I wanted to be a journalist since I was 8 years old. So I knew that after school, after I'd done GCSE Media Studies, I needed to do a BTEC Media Production course because there were no BTEC journalism courses.
Did want to do animal care, and then they sort of said, try Hoffel and that.
And they didn't advise us on what courses, what were available and what I could do.
But then the connection guy said, oh no, why don't you go to Newcastle College? And I kept trying to ask him why he thought I should go there, but to no avail.
Back then my mum used to be a teacher, so I had a lot of help from her.
They told us that if I didn't like college, they would take us to sixth form, but they didn't. I went to Bishop College.
Okay, so you're at college at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, and what are you doing there?
Level 2 professional cookering.
I went to Hoffel for 3 years.
Okay, and what was that experience like?
Not very good.
My experience wasn't really that good, as I didn't meet anyone to hang around with. I didn't get much help outside of the classroom.
I went camping with them, and they didn't support us. They all sat around the campfire drinking and smoking and all that, and they didn't even check if I was okay in my tent and that. They went straight to their tent.
After my level 1 MBQ, I went on to do level 2 at college, but then I needed to go for an operation. When I got better, the college wouldn't let us go back to finish my level 2.
Did you get any support?
No, not really. I had to find the apprenticeship myself and find a placement to complete the apprenticeship. The support that I did get was from family and friends.
I wanted to do performing arts because I asked one of my friends if there's a drama group, and she went, "Oh yeah, there's Maldo." So I went there and I've enjoyed it, and I wanted to do performing arts, so I moved to Peatley.
Then I went back to college to do my level 3 MBQ.
I got triple distinction, which is the equivalent of AAA at A level.
Okay, and what's that experience been like?
Really, really good. Get all my support.
I came to Northumbria University with the practical knowledge of how to use a camera, how to use editing software, how to use radio editing software, and that stood me in very good stead for getting it first, which is what I got.
Support in the kitchen and in the restaurant and in my lessons and maths and English.
College were much more supportive, which I understand, because going to uni and making the right choice is very, very important, because at the end of the day, if you don't make the right choice, then I suppose you feel like you've wasted £27,000 now doing that course.
So having heard about the issues experienced by Stacey, Kat, Jonathan and Jamie, and the way they've been able to overcome those issues, now let's hear from some adults and see what opportunities they've been able to enjoy in adult life. Here is Julia, Ben, Paul and Helen.
When I left school, I was at a specialist school in Sunderland for 11 and a half years. After that, I went to another specialist college, and it was ESPA. That was in Sunderland. I was there for 4 years.
I left school in 1989, and then started in the Oaks Day Centre in the same year.
I left school in 1996, went to college, did 4 years there. Then after that I'll go at the Brackenhill woodwork unit. Since now and then I've took part in the Special Olympics, done that.
I've been working through work experiences and work placements.
For the past 2 weeks, I have done a work placement at BBC Tyne, and I actually wrote the Look North breakfast bulletin for last Thursday.
After I left ESPA, I started work, and during my time with ESPA I did work experience.
I work for the People's Parliament now as the facilitator for the Parliament.
I hold down 2 jobs. the information assistant job on the Parliament support team, and I have a job with my dad doing his filing. And that's basically it. That's still what I'm doing today.
Since I had those, I moved swiftly onto this job, just by word of mouth.
I heard about the job through my social worker.
Well, how I got this job was I was approached by Workable Solutions, and they said they'd found this job for me, and they thought I'd be right for the job. I meet the criteria, so they helped me fill a form in, and I went for an interview, and I got the job.
I'm an MP for the Easington area, and I got elected to be an MP.
Being an information assistant means that I help gather and send out information and help the MPs.
I have been with the Parliament since it started in 2006, volunteer in the Parliament office. I am the co-chair of the Parliament. I am the secretary of Big Steps Forward. I was voted on from the Parliament elections.
Well, I had worries about meeting new people. You know, it's a sort of situation anybody can go through.
When I first started, I was a bit nervous speaking up for others. Then Brian Smith was helping us with us.
Well, I got help from Workable Solutions. Well, in the early days of the job with my dad, I had support from Workable Solutions, and of course early days doing this job.
I had support from the Oak Station and Helen Clark. She was my ex-key worker. She's been fantastic with me after 18 years.
And then I got support from the council's employment service.
I used to have Workable Solutions to help me.
But I did get help from the employment service with interviewing process, and then about 3 or 4 months support within the job of support from the service.
I got some help from my social worker. She got us through the court of Brackenhill.
But then it was a kind of a worry on what kind of support I would get one-to-one to help with my vision and things. So there was a bit of difficulty around that after the supported service stopped after the certain few months of support from that service. But now I'm happy now and I employ my own support.
So we've heard about the work that the individuals have gone on to do with the People's Parliament and how they've gone about coping with that. So now let's hear about their achievements and how them and the young people have gone about accomplishing them.
So what has your greatest achievement been to date?
Taking part in the Special Olympics, going down the House of Lords, making Andrew Langsley. That's it, really.
Get my own house. I was able to learn to drive, and I started up my own business, supplying salons for hair and beauty products.
I'm doing the Person Effective Leadership Training course 2 years ago.
When my dream, my dream would have, I'd like to do a book about my life story, and part of my family was fantastic with me, and also my sister won $1 million in my story.
And when I went down to see John Bercow MP in Leeds a couple of weeks back,
I would say this job, and also on a personal level, I would say about making people aware of my syndrome, low syndrome, through my website and telling them about me good experiences and bad experiences.
I got the business idea from my sister-in-law because she's a hairdresser, and whenever she needed any hair colours or anything, the closest supplies was Durham or Darlington.
And also being in the Special Olympics, I was the England Great Britain #1 goalkeeper. That I decided to come back home with the silver and gold.
In the Special Olympics, I took part in athletics, did a 100, 200 shot put, then did the relay, then 1 year I did the football.
My greatest achievement, well, was when I went to the House of Lords and the House of Commons. It was both with Helen and Ryan Devine, and we met Andrew Langsley, which was part of the Parliament Outreach Programme, and he's the Minister, well, the Health Minister. We voiced our opinions to him and got our answers, and on the same day we met Baroness Hollins, who's a close friend of my family's, as she actually went to school with my mum's sister, so we had a cup of tea with her.
So I decided to write this book about my life. So on the 3rd of September, we are having an event from the Parliament. I've got a stall next to Julia, and I've got my e-book launch on that day.
And from then, my family helped us set up the business and with all the planning and ordering all the stocking.
So for people who may have watched this film who also feel that the issues shown have affected them as well, the people who have been featured in this film have decided to just offer some friendly advice as to how you can overcome those issues and progress further in your life.
I'd say to make the most of your future, first of all, try and join a group like Extreme to help boost your confidence. If you're not very confident, to help boost your confidence, because it will give you a lot of confidence just to see how many independent young people with extra difficulties there are around.
See, I would say go to college, you learn new skills and make new friends. Then you get work experience opportunity.
maybe if you combine your training at college and university with a job, then maybe that's a good thing altogether. If you're doing a bit of both to get your pay in, then that's a good thing. That's probably what I would have done.
Just try to find a suitable course to do.
And the advice I would give is to have more new skills through doing training course.
At the end of the day, it's their choice. If they want to go to college or university and study for their chosen profession, they can.
Look at all the courses available to you. If you don't have an idea of what you want to do, maybe discuss it with friends and family.
You should be able to do what you want to do.
It's your choice which course you want to do. And
I don't like the word disability. I think it's outdated because everyone has a problem. yeah, I have extra difficulties, but that doesn't mean I'm any different to anyone else, except I use wheels to get around.
They've got as much right to live the life to the same expectations as what we've got and the same chances in life as well.
It should not hold people back.
Well, that's what I used to. We've got to try it. We've got to try and do what we can do to get to where we want to be.
I'd like to be considered purely on my skills and not because of my extra difficulties. And I think that's what we need to fight for. That's what we need to fight the government for.